Homelander was never gonna be a good dad. He's far too focused on trying to become immortal and become a god, and his own dad is partly to blame. If you haven't seen the newest episodes of season 5 of The Boys, or if you're currently watching it, go ahead and skedoodle because there's gonna be some spoilers I want to talk about. Starting off with Homelander and him seeing all the heavenly lights and hearing Madison Stillwell, why exactly is he hearing and seeing Madison Stillwell in those moments? The first time we see Homelander experience this is when he's at A-Train's funeral. And you guys remember what A-Train said before Homelander finished him off. A-Train tells Homelander that he's nothing. He's just an empty suit, and when you take away his powers, what is he? Pathetic? Weak, a sniveling loser? Homelander has these final words that A-Train said reverbing through his head. And then Oh Father lets out that big yell, and that's when Homelander first hears Stillwell. And then we get another experience right after Soldier Boy tells off Homelander after he calls him out for sending him after Butcher, knowing there's a virus out there. With Soldier Boy also telling Homelander that he's pathetic and that he's nothing, reverbing the same words that A-Train said to Homelander. So Homelander's dad hates him, his son hates him, A-Train hates him, Butcher, Huey, Edgar, heck, Homelander even hates himself. And I think that's why he imagines Madison Stillwell. Because while Stillwell was afraid of Homelander, she never hated him. In fact, some people could even argue that she loved him. They had a weird, sick, twisted relationship. If they did have those feelings, it was a weird, twisted sense of love. Madison Stillwell consistently enabled Homelander and constantly coddled him and catered to him in stressful moments. She had ways of approaching him when he was stressed, but she had ways of also validating him in his decisions. And she accepted who he was. Again, even if she was afraid of him, she didn't hate him like everyone else does. And so it's his mind trying to conjure up someone that once used to motivate him in the past. And so now he's imagining Madison Stillwell to bolster up his confidence like she once did, and to finally push him fully over the edge, making him believe that he is a god because he has saved more people than anyone else. So now we're starting to see the beginning stages of an unhinged Homelander as he tries to hunt down this V1 so he can be like his dad, immortal and even stronger than he already is. He's putting all of Vought's resources into trying to recreate or find V1, now becoming his sole purpose within the show. He will do whatever, he will eliminate whoever, and he will destroy whatever he needs to in order to achieve his goal of finding or recreating V1, all in the name of becoming immortal and reaching his godhood. Now, while Homelander had a really crappy dad, he certainly didn't put on a very good fatherly figure role for Ryan. The one thing that Ryan and Homelander have in common with each other is their daddy issues. So we finally learn what happened with Ryan in season 5. We learn after the events of season 4, after he takes out Mallory, he runs off and he goes into hiding. Vought and Homelander are telling media that Ryan is at private school, but in reality, Ryan is actually hiding out in Russia, where we actually see Ryan gruesomely take out a team of Russian special ops. But once he eliminates that loose end so he can continue to stay in hiding from Homelander, he runs off for a meeting with Zoe, who's still in contact with him. He not only happens to meet up with Zoe, but Butcher is also around and happens to meet up with Ryan as well, where they go to this little pub and Ryan asks Butcher if he's gonna be anything like his father. Ryan's still afraid that he's gonna end up like Homelander in any kind of way, listing off different people that he's hurt. His mom, Aunt Mallory, the one crime actor in season 4, the Russian guards we just saw him take out. He doesn't want to be like Homelander, but he keeps hurting people without meaning to. Butcher's able to console him, but he also manipulates Ryan into trying to go after Homelander with the virus, being honest with Ryan, telling him that it will also take him out as well as Homelander, and Butcher would also be there to go out with Ryan as well. But the virus isn't available, so Butcher says they can't go through with it and they have to wait for a while. But Ryan doesn't want to wait because he needs answers from his dad now. So instead he goes off without Butcher and he goes to planet Vought, where Homelander and Stormfront first brought him in season 2. It was his first time in public and being in society. It's only fitting that this is where he tries to get answers from his father as well. Ryan questions Homelander about the nature of his and Becca's relationship and if Homelander really did what Butcher says he did. Homelander tries to lie and Ryan calls him out for his heart racing, and Ryan's not taking any more words. He's just throwing hands, and he spontaneously just lasers Homelander, and I swear there's a little bit of damage there. You can see it burned into his skin. And then Ryan doesn't hold back after that. He immediately goes in throwing more hands. His fighting style is like a really fun, quick succession of punches and lasers and doing quick little combos. And I just really wish he was more trained, because he probably could have done a lot more damage than what he did. And I should have known that it was Ryan that Homelander was punching in the trailer. Everything from the Votland stuff in the background to knowing that was their first outing back in season 2, that should have been an obvious clue for me that Ryan was the one being punched by Homelander. I was just in denial. I didn't want it to be Ryan, and I was sitting at the edge of my seat just screaming, "Butcher, where are you? Get there!" And honestly, when Butcher did get there, I was not expecting to see a head on Ryan's body, just to be honest. I'm very happy that Ryan still had his noggin, and I'm very happy that Ryan is still alive. And with Ryan surviving and knowing that he can do some pretty good damage on Homelander, I wonder if Ryan is going to have a quick recovery and is going to go in for a round 2 and do even better. Or my other thought is he's gonna take this experience from fighting Homelander, and after he's done recovering, he's gonna help the boys fight Butcher, and Ryan will be the one to fight and finish Butcher. I mean, how fitting and poetic would that be? Ryan almost gets taken out by one father figure, while Ryan is the one responsible for taking out the other father figure. And then for Butcher to be taken out at the hands of the person that he promised his wife to protect, I imagine Butcher's gonna see Becca in those final moments and apologize to Becca's spirit for hurting Ryan in that final fight. But I feel like that would just be poetic as heck if Ryan took out Butcher in the season finale. Do you think Homelander is gonna get V1? And if he does and he becomes a god and gets immortality, would that make Ryan a demigod? It would fit, since most demigods also have daddy issues. Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let me know.